guys? I'm Ethan.
And I'm Sean.
And welcome to episode 3, the Vitamin E Show. So, got a couple things on topic today. First thing, maybe not the first thing, but one of the things we talk about is supplements, supplementation, a little bit about kind of what our favorites are, and recommendations on usage, that kind of thing as well. We'll get into some couple quick tips, best solutions for fat loss and kind of how that supplementation can play into those as well. So, cool. So first things off, supplementation, okay? We're asked a lot all the time, what supplements are best, protein, what kind of protein do I need, what about creatine, what about pre-workouts, what about, all of these things. So, I think we should give like 3 staples. 3 staples, if you had to pick only 3 supplements to use, I would say, a good pre-workout, a solid protein shake to be used as post-workout, but, has multiple uses there, and then probably a BCAA supplement. Hopefully your pre-workout has that covered, but, if it doesn't, definitely. If it does, then maybe a multivitamin or a fish oil type deal. Actually, fish oil, there's other oils are option, but, somewhere on that line. What would your 3 be?
That would be pretty much the same thing. I guess a lot of people don't get all the nutrients they need through their food, through like bad eating habits. So multivitamin, and then like you said, a good protein. Most of the proteins that I've had has like all of the BCAAs, glutamine, all of that stuff already in it. If you just go ahead and invest in a decent one, and then pre-workout from time to time for myself. So.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about that. I said pre-workout, and you said pro. I mean, both a solid pre-workout and a solid protein both should have, your good, at least 7 to 8 grams of BCAAs included. So, maybe not a BCAA supplementation if you have solid options on those, and maybe more different. Could be like a vitamin. So
yeah.
As far as if I had to just pick one supplement. If I could only have one for the rest of my life, what would I want? I would say a really good pre-workout. Mm-hmm. Just because there's a lot of times that necessarily don't feel like working out, and pre-workout gets me in the mood. Also, I think intensity of the workout is probably the most important thing for my goals. So, for my goals, which are mostly hypertrophy and fat loss at the moment, intensity is number one, and I'm usually working on size more so than anything. So again, intensity is paramount in that. So I would say a good pre-workout for me, and a good pre-workout would need to have BCAAs in them, at least 300 milligrams of caffeine, and I like I may mispronounce this, but I like caffeine anhydrous. Could be wrong. That could be said totally differently than that. Anyway, but that's basically 0.5% or less that caffeine contains water. So it's very, very concentrated powder, and your body absorbs it a lot faster, cleaner, faster response, that kind of thing. So I drink a lot of coffee. I have tolerance. So that citrulline malate, which is it does a lot of things for you, and then creatine as well. Now I get a lot of creatine into my diet with red meat, but other meats have, but red meat has the most, and that would be a key pre-workout for me. I mean, what would be your favorite? If you had to pick one.
I would definitely say protein personally. Like I do get the pre-workouts, give you the energy and everything, but typically I time my proteins about taking my protein shake about an hour or so ahead of time, and once I kind of just go ahead down the shake, like I'm like, all right, I got to work out now. Can't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
But not only that, it's just for multiple other reasons. Like me personally, like a lot of times I'll get busy, get to moving around, and as much as I love to eat, like I just forget about meals sometimes, or don't have the time to sit down and cook something. So like breakfast, I sleep in. So a lot of times I don't get up enough in time to get the breakfast that I need. So I'll down a protein shake, have one prepared the night before, and a lot of times I just find that I struggle.
What's in that shake?
Well, with the generally I like the some of the fast acting, or not fast acting, time release proteins. Generally, that has like a lot of the BCAAs and stuff already in it. The glutamine's a protein that has like lower amounts of sugar, carbs. That generally stick to more of a low carb type diet.
So that's all in the protein powder, right?
Yeah.
Do you add anything else? Or is it just like protein powder and
Just the protein, yeah. And
what do you mix it with?
Usually, I'll do like unsweetened almond milk. I can just take the water, but it's not the best, not my favorite.
Right.
Generally the proteins that are gonna taste really good with water are gonna be the ones that have a lot more of the sugars and fillers and things like that in it. So, and generally, milk is always delicious, but I try to avoid a lot of that.
Yeah,
So
not too much dairy.
yeah, the unsweetened almond milk has been my best bet, and it tastes really good. Every once in a while, I know when I was doing like the keto diet, I had chocolate peanut butter flavored protein, and take a scoop of peanut butter in there, mix it up, and taste like I was drinking a Reese's cup. So it was kind of also my way of getting in a little bit of a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Flax milk also. Frank told me about that one. So I haven't tried it, but he said it's good.
I haven't tried that one.
Flax milk is, with the protein powder, it has a little bit more fat, and the fats in flax are omega-3s, not so in almonds. So there's a lot higher concentration in flax. So like I put flax oil usually in my eggs when I cook, and I have ground flax I put on like salads and things like that. But anyway, that's another option too. Just wondering there. You mentioned protein shake before workout, about an hour before is what you do. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about the differences of protein shake before workout versus after workout. Which one better, that kind of thing. So before I go on my end, why do you take yours an hour before?
Well, generally, like I like to have my larger meals immediately after my workout. So just kind of the timing of my work day and when I get my meals in, I'm usually eating around, try to get it, every 3 to 4 hours or so. And when it comes to around time for my workout, it's not quite time for a meal yet, but I need something in my body, and a little bit of substance there.
So what works for you is more convenience.
It's more convenient during my day, so I'll take that protein about an hour ahead of time, and that gets me going in that way. As soon as I finish working out, I'm starving, ready to get my largest meal in of the day. So
sure. So I take mine. Currently, I take them after. I change. It's goal dependent. So taking your protein shake before your workout, it's going to spike your insulin levels, which not necessarily is a bad thing, because during the workout, elevated insulin levels help build muscle mass. So you obviously don't need to lose fat, so that's not too bad of an idea for you. But if your goal is fat loss, taking your protein shake before, if it's whey protein, not all proteins are the same, but whey protein really spikes insulin. So that's what most people use. It's the most popular protein, and what comes in, post-workout, advertised post-workout shakes, things like that. So taking it before, spike insulin a little bit, help muscle gain, but hurt fat loss a little bit from during the workout. And then taking your protein shake post-workout, again, spikes that insulin after, which again, it will impede some fat loss during that time. Insulins are elevated, but your cortisol levels are elevated during your workout, and taking that protein shake right after and that insulin spike will help to lower that stress hormone. So that will help overall. You got to get that down too for muscle recovery and for fat loss. If cortisol levels stay high, then you start to eat muscle generally a little bit. So you want to try to get that out. That could be done different though. Like if you eat right after too, if it's a good meal. If you're doing a low carb, it'd be pretty hard to spike insulin right after a workout through food.
Well, see, that's when my meal with my workout, that's when I'm going to have
most of
my
the
carbs for the day there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just to kind of, really help with that recovery, get everything back to where it needs to be. So.
Yeah, good. Makes sense. So, you mentioned protein shake for breakfast. I want to talk a little bit about breakfast and a quick tip off that for fat loss. So if I had to give my best two pieces of advice to lose body fat, it would be a better breakfast and more water. Okay. So breakfast, we've talked about it. We wrote about it. It's a big deal. A lot of people don't necessarily eat the wrong thing, so they're just not eating. And if they do eat, it's the wrong thing. So we live in a world where most of our breakfast items and recommendations are all carbs. It goes for a lot of meals, but oatmeal,
banana,
bananas, all these things, toast and hash browns. They get into fast food too. That kind of thing is an easy option in the morning. So all of those breakfast items. So oatmeal is definitely a healthier carb than if you were to eat
pancakes covered in syrup.
But like a bowl of oatmeal spikes insulin just the same as a bowl of Fruit Loops. Now, granted, those carbs are better for your body than those Fruit Loops, but insulin levels are still getting spiked first thing in the morning because you're fasted. You've been asleep for 8 hours. Hopefully. So, and then, if you don't eat right when you get up, and your probably last meal of the day and wasn't right before you got in bed, so you're probably 12 hours without food-ish, and, you need food, but anything you put in is going to produce a much stronger response. So, having the carbs first thing in the morning are going to really spike insulin. So a protein shake, whey protein does spike insulin, however, it will dissipate faster because it's very fast-acting protein, preferably like a casein in the morning, which I'm used to. You mentioned time-release protein, so it's probably like maybe a mixture of some. Yeah. So, a mixture of proteins, there's some time-release proteins. Casein's a good option. Casein's a little thick, so I prefer those mixtures too, with some whey in there to kind of thin it out. But, and you could even put peanut butter in there. Nuts, meats, and protein. Proteins and fats at breakfast are what you need. And if you have time, if you like eggs, and you like, breakfast meats like even bacon or sausage are okay if you're exercising regularly. Steak, pork chops, I prefer bigger pieces of meat, and I'm a big guy, so, that's my breakfast, but you could also do those low-carb muffins that we were talking about that, are high in fat, a decent amount of protein. You could add more protein in that recipe we gave, just add some protein powder. You could do a shake. You could do a Quest bar. There's tons of options to meet those guidelines and not be getting a lot of carbs and a lot of insulin spike right in the morning.
No, I definitely recommend a food option over just grabbing a protein shake every morning there. I guess when I think of that, I'm thinking of, the convenience and the everyday person and how that's going to be a lot better than nothing at all.
An imperfect plan that you follow is better than a perfect plan that you don't.
Exactly.
If a protein shake in the morning works, then do it. It's got to be what works for you. Obviously, I'm always going to want real food over supplements as well, but I keep a box of Quest bars in my car when whenever I can't, get food in. So it's not like I recommend meal supplementation, but if you have to, it's a huge deal there.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's the entire journey. Fitness is a lifestyle, so you have to find what works best for you, what's going to fit into your current lifestyle. If you go trying to make all these different changes, like if you're not a breakfast person and you normally don't ever eat breakfast, and you get up every morning trying to cook these huge meals, you're probably going to fall off and get discouraged there. So
bound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's you definitely got to find that balance for you, for sure. And then water, man. Water. You guys got to drink more water. How much water? People say an ounce per pound body weight. Some people say a gallon a day. Some people say a gallon and a half. Some people say 80 ounces. I try to be realistic, again, because an imperfect plan that you follow is better than a perfect plan that you don't. So if you could get in 80 ounces of water, even for a small individual, 80 ounces of water ought to be doable. And, there's all kind of ways you can measure that to help yourself get there faster. Obviously, I would really recommend, if you really want optimal, I would go more for a gallon. And if you're a bigger guy like me, I try to do a gallon and a half to 2 a day. But, it depends on how large of a human being you are. Every reaction, every chemical reaction ever happens in the body, fat loss, muscle building, ATP, all of it happens in water. And if you don't have water, you start to not feel as good. Things don't work as well. Things don't happen as fast or as quickly or as efficient as they're supposed to. It overworks other parts of your brain and different nervous systems. Like, you need water for everything. It's very, very important. You'll sleep better. You'll feel better. You'll recover faster. Have more energy. Everything. Because your body can produce those things more efficiently. Even digestion and breaking down your food. You need water, Also, cleaning yourself out, getting toxins out. When you're working out, you're releasing toxins. And those things need to get out. You need to have flow, So, water. Also, drinking water around will help you, around your meals will help you slow down. So not eat so fast, which, eating, slowing your pace of eating will also help with, there's a study that did that, pace of eating, and lean people on average chew their foods 40 times, and overweight people on average chew their food 15 times. I don't know how many people that was. I don't know what I don't chew my food 40 times. So, but it made me be more conscious about it for sure.
And kind of tying to that, even things like when people are feeling hungry, things like that. And so if you drink a glass of water first, then if you're still hungry afterwards, then yeah, sure, you can probably,
or a headache.
Probably get some food. Yeah.
Have a headache. Drink a glass of water and see how you feel. I mean, you may need more water than that, but headaches are often due to dehydration.
Exactly. So I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the biggest thing, people look and think a gallon, man, how am I supposed to get that in throughout the day? And it's not, thinking, oh, I hadn't had any water and chugging down a bottle during that time. You're just gonna feel sick and going to be sloshing around in your stomach, and you're going to be going to the bathroom every 5 minutes. So it's really, gradual consumption. For people who are at work, I realize you may not be able to carry a gallon jug around with you, but taking a sip for every time you pass by the water fountain. Just
I don't always have a gallon with me either. This is what I got this morning. I'm driving around, going to meetings. I don't have space for a gallon a day.
Yeah, and some people are a little luckier. I try to keep my gallon jug with me and just fill it up in the morning, and throughout the day try to make sure it's gone by the end of the day.
Some people put marks on their bottles. Need this time to be here, this time to be here. For me, I just when I was getting the habit, I set alarms on my phone. There's apps you can download now that make a little bubbly noise, but you kind of will get used to that kind of noise really quick. So I like alarms that beep beep beep, to make sure I get it. So I used to set alarms every 30 minutes, just a quick ding to remind me to drink some water, right? And then after I got in the habit, I didn't need that as much anymore. But tracking will help you get more water. Tracking, just like tracking your food, will help you eat better. If you have to write down everything you eat, you'll eat better things. If you have to write down how much water you drink, you'll drink more water because you need to. You're holding yourself accountable. So meats and nuts, fats and proteins, no carbs for breakfast, 80 ounces at least, preferably a gallon of water a day. Best 2 tips for fat loss and supplements, pre-workout, protein, and a multi of some sort, quality. Make sure you get what you pay for there. And then that's pretty much it, right? That's all we covered today. Good. So guys, hope that was good. Hope you enjoyed that. Submit your questions. Facebook, we have our group there. You can post them there. You can tag us on Facebook anytime with any questions you have, or Instagram at AF Trustful. But we'll see you next time, guys. Take it easy.